What did we learn today? What did we learn today? A lot, right? What did we say from the beginning this day was about? This day was about accelerated learning. You heard acceleration a lot today. Every single person talked about acceleration. Wasn't that interesting? These people are totally different people, live different lives, all very successful. There's a pattern. There's a pattern. There's sequencing of people that spoke today, and there's commonalities in all of them of what is happening when you do the right things. My dad was in corporate for 35 years, and I grew up just believing that that's what you're supposed to do when you go to get a job out of college, is to go work for someone and do that your whole life and get your pension and get a house and get married and all that, and that's the way life is supposed to be. And then when 2008 happened, and I found out that my dad, who saved every penny of every bonus for his entire career, for retirement and for us, it was wiped away, gone. It made me think a little bit about why maybe that road isn't the right road for me. But I just put that on the side, and I got out of college in 2008. I went to school for 8 years, by the way. It took me a while. I had some tragedy in my life, and it's shaped who I am today. My grandparents died in a plane crash in 1999 from radical Islamic terrorists before 2001, when 9/11 happened. And that really rocked me. And then my cousin, who I grew up with, who was in Wisconsin, and he just got married, and all he wanted to do was pay to go to school. He decided to be a reserve and support his hometown, and he was sent to Iraq in 2004 and never came back. And that threw me into a spiral. And I was diagnosed with clinical depression for over 2 years. I completely turned into a vegetable and played online video games and poker for a solid 2 years of my life. And then I got my shit together because I saw life flying by, and I realized that I need to get out of my self-pity and start living for a bigger purpose. And that's when I made the decision to finish school at Northern Illinois. And I got a great job. I put myself through 18 hours every single semester, worked every single night as a waiter just to catch up and try to get my life back on track. And that's when I got an opportunity to come to New Jersey. And as a small Midtown West kid, New York City or LA were like the mecca of opportunity. It was the coolest thing you could possibly do. Like New York or cornfields. See you later. I was gone. And so I went on my career, and I did 10 years of corporate, and I did really well. I worked my tail off. And we got to New Jersey in 2008, a month before the crash. It probably wasn't the best time to be in the business of staffing people into companies for employment when everyone wasn't hiring. But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot what Roddy talked about with trying different things and not getting the result. But if you keep doing it and practicing, you're building momentum, and somehow, some way, you're going to break through. You're going to get a shot. And I did well for a while, but about 8 years into my career, I couldn't break this barrier of income. I was making just over $100,000 every year as a leader in my company, but I couldn't break it no matter how hard I tried for 5 years in a row. In fact, each year it would go back a little bit. It was really defeating. Because at that point, me and Lindsay are married, and then we're getting kids, Grant and then Willa, and then I'm not seeing progression in my life that's adding up with my career, so I feel totally out of alignment. Have you been here before? Does this sound familiar? And so in 2016, I buy an online video, I watch a conference, and I see Danelle Delgado speak on stage. And she had, to me, the most relatable, down-to-earth story because she wasn't crushing it. Well, she started to. but she was from small town USA, 3 kids, cancer, 3 jobs. I mean, totally relatable, yet she was doing this insane result. And I'm like, I didn't know someone could do that. Really? I thought the bar was here, and I was doing pretty good. I was making President's Club trips. I thought that was the bar that people told me that's your potential. But she comes in, and she says, no, this is your potential. But don't trust my word for it. Look at my clients. And I'm like, holy crap, everyone's crushing it. We need to get on board with this. And so that was the beginning of the end of my corporate career. Because I made the decision first, actually, to enroll my wife to work with her. Because she was in a job in sales, and she was struggling too. And I wanted to see her succeed before I saw success, because I cared about her growing. And she started to work with Danelle for months. And then then Danelle announced her elite retreat to Bora Bora. I'll never forget this. And Lindsay comes to me, and she's like, I'm going to Bora Bora. I'm like, well, then I'm going too. You can't go to Bora Bora without me. We couldn't afford it, by the way. It's really expensive if you haven't noticed. But as we went through this program, and as we met amazing people along the way, who are sitting, some of them in the front row here, we started to just pivot and think differently. The one thing that changed my life forever was the week when I first started with Danelle. And it was the first time she challenged us to go Facebook Live. I've never done a Facebook Live before. And I did my first one. And she's like, that was incredible. You should do those all the time. I'm like, really? Oh, I was at my lake house in Wisconsin on vacation with my parents, the kids. And but that spurt of encouragement and push made me think, okay, try it again. And then she challenged us to make $10,000 in a week. I've never done that before. And in my job, that's not possible. Well, it's not possible. But what if it was? What if it was? And so I asked myself the question, think about this for yourselves. It's not possible, but what if it was possible? What would I actually have to do to make it work? And so this was literally two years ago in July. It was the 4th of July weekend, and everyone was on vacation. And I decided that I'm going to create this incredible proposal to my target client that I've been courting for a while, but we haven't done business yet. And I thought through, what are all the amazing things that they cared about that no one else was addressing in the marketplace, that I could come in and blow them away with something that they would read in one page that would say, I need to read the next one. I need to read the next one. You're hired. And so what I did is I created this insane 5-page proposal. I'm going to show you a little bit of what this is in a second. This might be 10 minutes. And I went to, this is in Manhattan. This is a $9 billion company in Manhattan, and we're in Randolph. And so I drive in unannounced on Friday. No one's working. They're all on the beach. And I go up to the 18th floor, and I call someone that I knew that was an assistant there. And I told her just straight up, hey, these people are expecting this. Please make sure they get them. Can you do that for me? And she let me go through security, and she took them all, and she put them one by one on each person's desk so that on Monday morning, that's the first thing they saw. Fingers crossed. Monday comes, phone call within an hour. We have to work with you. My boss, and I don't know who this is. I just told my vice president supposed to tell me to tell you that we need to get this contract done right now, and we have to work, and we need to go now. And that was the beginning of a 3-week or so deal. But I framed the deal so that I would make $10,000 that week, which is not possible with the way we set up compensation in the company. I just recreated how we do financials in the company to make it work because I got creative. That led to not a $10,000 deal. That led to a almost $3 million deal for my company in 2.5 times my income in the next 12 months. Crushed it. So an aha moment, right? An aha moment. And then people started to notice, like, whoa, what are you doing, man? Like, you were here, and now you're here. How did you do that so fast? And then I got another client, and then another client. Imagine in your market, think about this. Imagine in your market, if right now, if you changed a couple strategies, within 6 months or less, you commanded 40% of your company's billed revenue, if you're in a big company, or 40% of your market in this small niche that we were working. Imagine if you commanded 40%. That's what I did with my team. And people didn't know what to do with it. When Jason talked about earlier today, not just by coming to Jesus with who you are and being open about it, but when you start to really, like Brian talked about and everyone talked about today, when you go bold, like, you're going to upset some people. People don't like to see you succeed. Some people do, but other people don't, because it makes them feel insecure. And that's what started to happen. And it led to me leaving. I started my own company. And if you haven't started a company, or if you have started a company, you know this story, but man, it is different. It is a different thing. And the first 5 months were rough. In fact, in January of this year, I had a goose egg revenue. It scared the shit out of me. Because we're using resources, we're using reserves, we're using everything we got to do our dream. We decided, by the way, when I left, we decided that I need to evaluate if I really need to go pursue my dream, or should I just go back to work because I have 3 kids and that would be the sensible thing to do and raise a family, which was what all my in-laws told me to do, by the way. And I went to job interviews. And long story short, I got lots of offers. And the final one that made me think, well, let's see what this one does, and then I'll decide. So it's a Fortune 100 company in Manhattan. They have thousands of global offices. This was their top performing office in the entire world. And for some reason, they had which is rare, they had their top open sales territory available because someone had to move. It was a multi-million-dollar territory, and I interviewed for it. There was 13 of us that interviewed for it because it was a highly sought-after role. Final 3, made the cut, final 3. And then the final interview was, you must do a PowerPoint presentation, which I don't have, and explain and convince us why you should be the candidate, and tell us about a deal that you closed that would really explain to us that you knew what you were doing. And so I walk into my interview, and I say, guys, I know you're probably expecting this really awesome PowerPoint that everyone makes for you when they interview for you. I'm just going to be straight up. I got 2 slides. Here's a picture of my family, and here's my result of what I did in the last 18 months. So let's not look at a slide deck. Let's connect right here. I'll tell you a story about how I just crushed it for 18 months and got a $9 billion client and was commanding 40% of the market, and how I can do the same thing for you, and why I'm the best person you've ever seen walk in this door. Got their attention. Got the job. Turned it down. And that's because I felt dead inside. It didn't feel right. It felt empty. They said, come back anytime. We'll give you a job whenever you want. So I knew then and there that I had what it took to do something on my own. And I didn't want to make money for one company. I didn't want to make money for someone else. I wanted to make money to help a lot of people. Because if this is something inside of me that I can do, then it needs to be a gift that can be shared. And if I'm working for someone else in one company, I can't share it with everybody. So that was my driving belief behind that decision. Long story short, now we're at February. I had $7 in my checking account. We used it all. We used it all. I went to Miami anyways, because I believed that when I went down there, I was going to connect with people that would change my direction, change course. And I rented a really nice hotel. I brought my best clothes. I did Uber Black everywhere I went because I needed to raise my status in my head to get out of the crap that I was in and get to a frequency that would connect with other people in that frequency so we could raise the stakes and raise the game. And the day I decided to do that, the first day was okay. The second day I raised the stakes. And when I went into this conference, in the line to get into the stadium, I met this gentleman who I actually did business with from afar. I never met him in person. He said, come up to the Skybox. We have a suite ready for you. I didn't have an invitation to the Skybox. I just had a ticket to get into this. 35,000 people in there. He says, come up to the Skybox. I go up to the Skybox. And guess who's in the Skybox? Danelle, Coach Burt. I met Hank there. Met Brian there. You have moments. They could be this big. And that might be the only chance you have to take that next step. And every inch I got that day, I took. Hank actually walked out of that suite. He didn't even see me. I walked up quickly behind him and caught up to him. And we had a conversation. And while this was going on, I'm on the board of directors for the Regional Chamber of Commerce. I believe in helping communities and coming together, as you can see that today. Megan, who's the president, and Tony, who's the president of the college, want to do something different. And I had meetings with them before I went to Miami, and they said, we want to find a way to come together in a way we haven't done before. What can you do for us? Because you have that inner energy that we need from that generation. And so I said, well, if you can give me this venue, and you guys back me to support this, I'll take care of the rest. But we're going to do it in 6 weeks, by the way. Why? Well, that's because this was the only time this was available for the college. They had a whole year booked out. This is the only time we could do it. And guess what happened when I'm in Miami in the suite box? Hey, but would you just random, like, I know this is like off the cuff, but would you want to come to New Jersey maybe on April 15th? Like, are you available? Every single person, guess what? Their entire year booked, except for this day. Every single person I asked, without hesitation, said yes. Batted 1,000, every speaker. Game on. That quote that Roddy showed, overcommit, overproduce, that was it. 6 weeks. Game on. All in. I can't do this on my own. I call Vicky. And Vicky's like, you crazy. Got that a few times. But she bought in. And then we got Nicole. And then we got Christina. And then we got Mary Jo. And then we got Steve. And then we got Christy. And then we got. And this became something much bigger than when it started, which was the purpose in the beginning. But it was quickly evident that it didn't matter that it was 6 weeks anymore. And it didn't matter what it was going to cost or not cost. We had to do this because this was something that everybody believed in. And it meant something personal. So we must. And someone asked me as we were going through these last few weeks, like, James, like, you're just starting a business, like you gotta, good advice today from David Meltzer and others, like, you gotta pay attention to your cash flow a little bit. I'm like, I know that, but. And I said to someone, why are you doing this, James? And I said, just dead honest, like, if I'm capable of creating this with someone, then I must. If you're capable of doing something, then you must. That's the level you have to go to the next game. If it's inside of you and you know you can do it or you think you can do it, then you must try. And let it come out. And so we're here. So this is how I'm going to wrap up today. I'm going to show you two things real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. So We talked today about strategy. We talked today about acceleration. We talked today about mindset, right? This is, write this down. This is knowledge. This is speed. And this is strategy. Now I'm writing downwards, so I apologize. And this in the epicenter is what we call, from every single person today, acceleration. Accelerated growth. This is what happens when you have the perfect balance of these three things. You have to go fast. You can't create something awesome slow. It doesn't work. Because the market's so fast right now, and we talked about this today a million times, the market's so fast, it's going to kick you and throw you to the curb. You have to beat it. You have to disrupt it. You got to do the Roddy, what was it? Let's do this. And karate chop that sucker. But you can't be reckless. You got to have knowledge, right? How the heck do you get knowledge? The moment I saw Danelle, I knew that there's two ways you go with this day today. There's only two. It's binary. It's black and white. It's either, wow, this was really cool. There was like really amazing speakers and I learned some things and they're really successful, but that ain't for me. There's no way I could do that. Or you say, holy shit, I want to learn how to do that. I'll do anything to be that. That's my new calling. That's my new direction. That was me. What are you going to do? You have one or two choices. The only way you're going to learn, though, and there's so many people in this room to learn from, my gosh, take your pick. They're all amazing people, human beings that absolutely are doing business for the right reasons, right? We talked so much today about purpose and value and direction and helping people. They're all geniuses, but get a mentor now, right now. Invest in yourself. Holy smokes. Jim Rohn said, the best investment you could ever do in your entire life is in yourself. You'll have the highest return, 30% at least, every single time you put money into yourself. Guaranteed. I can attest to that. I've worked with many people in this room, and I have seen massive returns from that. You need strategy, though. If you don't have strategy, then, like Brian said, you can get stuck in the weeds, and you're just going to be doing circles, and nothing's going to happen. The beauty of what I do is I teach disruptive strategy in your business. And I want to show you one quick example of why I love what I do and why I want to help as many people as possible, and I want to play my role in this thing today and beyond. So this is a real story. This just happened like a couple months ago. There's this woman who's an expert. You guys are all smart. You are an expert in something. And by the way, the 10,000 hour rule is flub. You don't need to have 10,000 hours to crush it, by the way. I don't believe in that. Speed, that's not speed. That's slow. If you say, I need 10,000 hours from today to be awesome, you're too late. The world's going to change massively in 5 years from now. You don't have time for that. You got to go fast. You are an expert. This woman was an expert. Her name's Tammy, by the way. She sent me an email today while we were here. I can't wait to share that with you. She is an expert on fibromyalgia. She has it. She's trained and teached hundreds of patients to deal with that chronic issue and be better and have a quality of life. But the way her business model was set up is she was a coach, and she would charge $1,250 for 8 weeks of coaching as her business. The problem is that when you ask her what she wanted to do, big picture, why are you doing this? What's in it for you? What's your vision? She told me, well, I want to be a $10 million fibro global institute to help thousands of people. Like, that's awesome. But I don't think this is going to work then, right? And so when we look back and looked at the whole market, this is you guys do this right now, by the way. You do the same thing. And this is what we teach. You only see what you know. This is you, and you're looking up. You can only see right here. You don't see your blind spots. And this is costing you big time. because you have massive IP that you're giving to this audience for this, that if you actually looked over here or over there, you know what people would pay for your IP? Not this. She was serving patients. We discovered that there's physicians, doctors that refer her patients that have major issues in their practices with this patient population because they're really hard to work with from a management perspective. She's about to close her first deal of $100,000 for a 24-month engagement with one single physician. Game. You think she can make $10 million now with this business model if she got a few more clients like that over a 24-month recurring revenue? Heck yeah. And guess what? They have patients that they can refer as a trusted partner that can give her this revenue stream much easier than her prospecting it on her own. So she has two secured revenue streams with an enhanced, sophisticated strategy and business model that she didn't have before. Her life is about to change, and she's about to blow up. She just launched a podcast. In her first week, she's had like 5,000 downloads, and she's got clients calling her like crazy. This is what we do with businesses. It doesn't matter what businesses is. This works for everybody. It works for big corporate. It works for small. It doesn't matter. I did it in corporate. It worked there. Just people don't like stuff that's different in corporate, so you got to maybe go do your own thing. This stuff works. This is what I do. This is how we help people. I want to help as many people as I can, but my mission is to help people get to this number. I want to help you guys in this room get to this number, because that is a level where you can make serious impact with your vision and goals for charities, families, communities, and you can do it when you adjust your strategy and you get the right knowledge and the right mentor, and you go super fast. We teach you how to do this in like 30 days. So I'm not pitching you, by the way, right now. I'm just giving you some information. But if this is something that seems like this makes sense to you, I have room for 3 people for a dinner in a week. And I would like to go deeper with you on this stuff and help you grow your business. Just dinner. That's it. Just a conversation. So if you're interested in that, I want you to text me at this number. That's my cell. And we'll set it up. Sound good? So the last thing I want to share with you to close is the ultimate offer. I call this the ultimate offer. This is like a little granular, but I want to give you something very tangible that you can use in your business right now to really have an unbelievable close to your sales process. We talked a lot about different angles of sales today. I want to give you the mecca, what I think is the ultimate killer offer that closes every single time. In the last 3 weeks, guys, I got a 30K deal closed, a 62K deal closed, and I'm closing another 30K deal this week, and I got 2 50K deals in the pipeline. And they're all getting the same offer. They're all going to close. Super high close rate. So what you do is you want to do what we call an executive summary. Never ever call your offer an offer or a proposal. That is jargon that people don't like. They know you're selling to them. That's not sophisticated. We are above that. You are a trusted advisor, so you need to change your language. We're calling this executive summary. So in the executive summary, you're going to have 3 pages, okay? Really simple. Very concise, very professional, high level. The first page, what you do is you explain back to them what you understand their problem is. And this shows that you have listened and asked really good questions, and you can say without a doubt that when they read this that you clearly know what the heck is going on in their business because you've spent the time trying to figure it out before you pitch them and help them. And then you say what their top challenges are, their top 3 challenges are, and you say what their top 3 desires are this year. We call them strategic goals. Ask them what their strategic company goals are this year, No one asks this question, guys. This is really important. This is the mother lode of what people have meetings on every week in their companies, what they talk about, what they're investing massive millions of dollars in, from IT, from infrastructure, from personnel. It's all built around the strategic goals. You need to know what this is, and you need to know how it ties to what you can do to add value. So that's the first page. What's their problem? What's going on? What do they want as a solution? What are they looking for? The second page is the cost analysis. And I'll show you how to do this if you want to. If you're not a numbers person and this scares you, numbers scare you, that's okay. I'm not really a numbers person either, but I like to speak in numbers because it makes sense to business people that have to make decisions with dollars and real money. So we show them a cost analysis of all the things. We label them out. All the things in their business that right now are costing them massive money that they don't need to waste money on. And we just simply just show them like, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. And by the way, it's costing you this much money. So whether you work with me or not, I just wanted you to be aware that let's get out of the theoretical of your problem. Here's the real dollars of what this is doing in your business today. You need to fix it, whether you work with me or someone else, because this is going to kill you. And then we say, well, the cost of our program is like 1/10 of what your problem actually costs. It's a no-brainer cost. It's a no-brainer, and we call this the investment point. It's not an offer. It's not price. It's not anything. We say investment point because it's an investment. We're investing to make our company better. So it's an investment point. And on the last page, you list all the things that are value adds to their company, and you put a dollar amount next to them. And you want to have 4 to 5 of those. And when you add up the value of what you're providing, the value is going to be so freaking ridiculous because you can show how you can solve all these problems that you listed in page 1. And then all you say is you only have to invest. Only is a key word there, by the way. That's a language pattern. You only have to invest XYZ to get started. I can show you way more in depth what this looks like, but I just want to give you a trailer right now. This is money. This closed a $9 billion client. This closed a Fortune 100 company. This closed every business that I've worked with. And it's not the document that's closing this, it's the sophistication of presenting and positioning what your business does that's different than anything they've ever seen before or communicated in a way that solves bigger problems than anyone's ever solved before. You have to solve bigger problems than anyone else has ever solved, and you will crush and dominate your marketplace. So, little one-on-one class there. If you want to know more, let's talk. And I'll finish my lesson there. So, in transition, this was an unbelievable day. This was an unbelievable day. Thank you for you. This is the beginning. You like today is like you got on a stop on a high-speed train, right? This is what this is like. You literally went up to a station where a high-speed train picks you up, and we hung out at the station for a day. The high-speed train is going to go bye-bye, and it's not coming back. It's going to go really, really fast. So you have to decide, are you going to get in it? Is now the time for you to step it up and get some mentors here that are available, which we're going to go have some badass wine right now with Ash in the library? Is now your time. What are you going to do with today? It's up to you. I hope to see you on the other side. We'll see you next year at Growers GrowthCon. And last but not least, if you want to come back, if this was unbelievable, if you got value from today, we're going to do this next year. It's going to be way bigger. This was the beginning. So if you want to get your ticket in early, everyone has first right of refusal in this room. Sponsors, speakers, if you want to come back, attendees, half price tickets for next year. You got to buy it within 24 hours, but I'll give you half price for next year's tickets, and I guarantee you they're going to be higher. So I'll give you the price that you paid for, half price for the next 24 hours if you buy now, and I hope to see you next year.